You believe that it was not insulting and in violation of everything we believe in to threaten to wipe out 91 million Americans? Would Ronald Reagan have ever done that? Would any other American president have ever threatened to wipe out 91 million people? I don't think Reagan did that at the height of the Cold War.
I guess what
FDR probably didn't do that even when we were fighting Nazism.
What I'm looking at is...
No, but answer that question, Martha. Would FDR have said, let's just wipe out the German people?
I can easily answer your question. I mean, we know who tried to actually wipe out entire populations in World War II.
Yes,
we
Hitler.
know the kind of backbone and spine that it took on the part of the United States of America to end those tyrannies.
With morality.
So what I'm seeing is someone who is
Donald Trump has no morality.
I think you have to... I'm kind of surprised, actually, that people haven't, that you don't get how the language works.
I get it if he's a real estate dealer. I don't get it when you're president of the United States with the inheritance of people.
But you're more concerned about the language than the outcome.
No, I'm concerned about our values. I'm concerned that no American president would have done this. Do you think Ronald Reagan would have used this language?
No, because Ronald Reagan isn't President Trump.
Do you think Abraham Lincoln would have?
FDR.
Do you think George Washington would have? Do you think he said, let's wipe out the British people? Donald Trump has compromised every moral standing we have as a nation.
The difference for me now is the captain of our ship seems utterly disinterested in where the icebergs seem to be, in when the crash may happen. He just wants to get out. He wants to stand on his plane with a giant poster board of his ballroom. It's the lack of interest in the consequences of his powerful actions is I think what's got me on such shaky ground. I feel like we've never been at the peril of a leader so disinterested in the damage of his own actions.
You're far more charitable than I am. I think the dude is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean,
I was trying to be nice.
So I'm going to push that further. To me, the elephant, not only just in the room, but in the whole house and in the whole mansion, whatever, is that he is not mentally okay. And, we have Captain Ahab in the charge of the ship of state, which, would be a lovely thing to dive into in some other conversation.
Yes.
But he, no, I think it's more than he doesn't care, because certainly we have had presidents in the past who had an ideology in their head and acted according to that ideology, even as the country began to burn down around them. I mean, just don't even start me on Benjamin Harrison, but we could get into Calvin Coolidge, for example. But in this case, the man does not know if he's afoot or horseback. And so, things are changing every second. And the more destruction he causes, the more he is inclined to lash out and cause more destruction. So watching that, and what that has gotten us into with the destruction of world trade and with the destruction of our security alliances and with the destruction of our allies and with the support, the fact we're supporting oligarchs, especially petro oligarchs around the world. I mean, what he has done is he has really slashed into ribbons the post-World War II order that has brought us peace and prosperity for 80 freaking years.
So regarding the president's rhetoric, when the U.S. invaded Iraq in 2003, George W. Bush said in a message to the Iraqi people that the military campaign was directed, quote, against the lawless men who rule your country and not against you. Yesterday, the president threatened to destroy Iran's civilization, the entire civilization. Not the Iranian government, but the Iranian civilization, the Iranian people. The U.S. has been a moral leader for most of its history by fighting wars against other governments, not against civilizations. How can the president claim that America can ever have the moral high ground if he's threatening to destroy civilizations and not casting wars as fights against other governments?
Andrew, I think you should take a look at the actions of this president over the course of the past 6 weeks and the actions of our brave men and women in our United States military who have taken out essentially taken out the military of a rogue Islamic regime that has chanted death to America for 47 years, that has killed and maimed thousands of American soldiers over the course of the last 5 decades. The president absolutely has the moral high ground over the Iranian terrorist regime, and for you to even suggest otherwise is frankly insulting.
I don't think that it's crazy for regular people to look at this in this country and say, okay, I mean, it seems like Israel was influencing us to get into this war. And I don't know why we can't just say that. I think it creates distrust.
See, what you just did is exactly what I have a problem with. We have no facts that you know that you weren't in the room.
I mean, you
either.
think the New York Times is wrong? There was a February 11th meeting in the Situation Room. Bibi was in the Situation Room. You don't think you think that's fake news?
Do I think the president and the prime minister have met and talked about Iran many times over the years, like President Biden did, President Obama did with the prime minister?
He didn't talk to any other allies. He didn't talk to Japan. He didn't talk to Europe.
Do I know actually what caused the decision? No. And by the way, the New York Times doesn't know. And the only people who know were people who were in the decision inner circle about what actually made them make the decision.
It seems like Bibi was in the decision inner circle. What else would you call it besides pushed us into it or encouraged him, influenced? What else would you call it? He was in the Situation Room making a pitch on the war 2 weeks before it started. What else would you call that?
I think many presidents have met with world leaders and talked about whether or not we should get involved in something or not. And I think just because they had a meeting in the Situation Room, so big deal.
This deadline that President Trump has set, 8 p.m., has threatened to destroy a civilization. How does an investor process that? Is it a bigger upside risk or downside risk?
What's it saying about the frog in the slowly heated up water experiment? It'll go till it boils and then won't even realize it, and then it'll just sit there till it's fried up. I mean, that's basically what Donald Trump has done to Americans, because we've been sitting and soaking in this hot water for over 10 years now, and we're so used to it that we don't even really react in horror. I mean, you remember how up in arms people were when Donald Trump's Hollywood Access tapes came out, and it was, I grab women I don't even wait, because I'm a celebrity. And now he threatens nuclear war and people don't even bat an eyelash, because every single day you can't keep up with what he does and what he says, whether he's threatening nuclear war or actually putting tariffs on everybody, defying the Supreme Court. Whether it be him in the Epstein files over 1 million times, cutting Medicaid by over $1 trillion over the next 10 years, slashing things like Meals on Wheels, getting us into all sorts of trouble. Just, the billions of dollars that he and his family have accumulated since he's been in office, just profiteering directly from being the president. I mean, you literally can't keep up with it. And so we are the frogs in the slowly boiling water. Because, even on Fox News, before Donald Trump took over the Republican apparatus, they would have been up in arms about that. But now that the whole party is about this one man, it's just another Tuesday, just another Wednesday. Whatever day it is, it's just another day of Donald Trump being Donald Trump.